right here. It says this placed her watch stationary.
What's going on, Lord Caston? We got Ange. How you pronounce your name? Andrew or Andrew Ray? And we got Sharon here. Thanks for joining. Yeah, we're going to get into some of these case updates going on. Thank you guys for joining. Get a couple more people in here. Let me know where y'all watching from. All right, I got it right. We're going to go over if there's any updates, any updates that's going on right now. That's what we're going to figure out. Some of you guys know some stuff more than I do. So I'll give you the chance to shine, see if you know something that I don't know. We're going to be here maybe about 30 minutes or so, not that long. And we're going to talk about some of the tips that people have been giving me from the Kada Scott case, because we've been following that lately. There's also tips, I don't know if you guys been following, from the David and the Celeste case, because I did a bunch of videos on that. So those are the two topics that we're going to talk about with some of the tips, emails that you guys been giving me. I figure I hit you guys with live tonight, and that way we can have a discussion. All right, get a few more people up in here. All right, Fresno. So you from Fresno? All right. So you a little up north. I'm originally from Cali. I'm from Cali. Got a boss or the Dodger hat on. So I'm from Los Angeles originally. What's going on? What's going on? We got Megan. Megan's from Rhode Island. Is it cold up there yet? Megan is from Rhode Island. Make sure y'all say what's up to Megan. We're gonna get a little more people in here. And I'm gonna tell you some of the tips that people have sent me. Some of them could be lies, cap, bogus, fake, whatever you want to call it. Some of them could be facts. And I'm trying to figure it out. Sometimes I can't do everything myself. Sometimes I need you guys' help. So it helps out a lot. Now, for all you guys that don't know here, I'm going to actually, let me pin my email in here. Yep, that is my email. You got that right. Did it for me. Thanks. All right, we got Texas. Good evening, Ebony. Good evening. Like to see all these people joining in. Good evening. We get a few more people in here. We can start. Are you moving to LA soon? LA is, oh, so I've been to Fresno before. LA and Fresno, two different worlds. Have you been to LA? It's two different worlds. Same state, two different worlds. I'm in Florida now, and it's like southern Florida to northern Florida. Totally different. What's going on? Try and give a little, everybody some shine here. Pretty face Nikki. Glad you can join in here. Oh, True Crime Nicole Squad. Heard that. All right. Yeah, it's not too far. It's not too far. Well, I hope everything works out for you. I really do. I want to see everybody succeed, everybody to become successful. Successful. I don't like to see anybody, how I want to say it, you know, suck in life. Really, I want to see everybody succeed in life. So, hope your move is a journey, and I hope that journey is great for you. Oh, no, you're in the building. Oh, New Orleans is one of my favorite places. I go there at least twice a year. I love it. The food, the food, the food, the food. I can't get enough of it. Matter of fact, my YouTube channel started blowing up when I started covering the inmates case when they all escaped, from the jail there, Southern Florida. All right, Ebony. Okay. I think we got a few people in here. All right, so one of the first things that we're going to get into, let's say we're not going to be here long, maybe 30 to 40 minutes. That's about it. Um, yeah, the food is very amazing. One of the first things we're going to get into is any Kada Scott updates. Now, for those of you that have joined me or start watching me, because of the Kada Scott case, let me know. So that way, I know. Now, for those of you who don't know about what's going on with Kada Scott, because not everybody knows. I'm just going to give it to you briefly, real quick, all right? And if I miss anything, that's a real quick, brief. Just put it in the description, and I'm going to, pin you above, let everybody know. Well, Kada Scott was a beautiful young lady from Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. She was actually aspiring to be Miss Philadelphia, Miss USA. She was going to Penn State. She went to work one night, never came back home, ended up missing, vanished. A guy named Keon King turned himself in. He turned himself in. It was about 10 days later, he turned himself in. But after he turned himself in, anonymous tips started coming in, calling. So-called anonymous tips, if you want to call them that. But anyway, these tips started calling in, pretty much telling the police exactly where they can find this, where they can find that. One of them was her body, where they can find her body at. They found her body. They identified her. Did her funeral happen yet? Please let me know if anybody knows if her funeral happened yet. I think it was supposed to happen this weekend, right? Let me know. But so now he's being charged with unaliving her. And on top of that, a lot of the court evidence. Now, I have a video where I broke down, it's an hour-long video where I broke down the affidavit. every section. I broke it down. It makes it easy for anybody to understand. They caught on camera two people in front of a rec center, which she was found at an abandoned school next to that rec center. So they found two people, or saw two people on the camera, pretty much taking what looked like a body out of a car and dragging it or carrying it towards where her grave, or the shallow grave, was at. There was also a third person, because there was two cars. One car drove off and the other two stayed there, burying her. So that is just a short, if you don't know about the case, this is a short thing about the case that's going on right now. Let's see here. Oh, you have a law enforcement position. Have physical fitness testing this weekend. Oh, okay. All right. Good for you. Good for you. Depending on what type of law enforcement, and if you're able to talk about that, you can send me, let me know, because I might be able to use you in the future. Who knows? What country do you live in that I can't send photos to TikTok? Is it my TikTok? I'm right here in America. You can't send photos to my TikTok? I don't know. I might have to adjust it. Maybe I have it to where people can't send photos. I don't know. You're not far from the crime location. Nappy Chili. All right. So Nappy Chili is from Philly, and not far from the crime location. The Kada Scott case is how I found your channel. Thank you. So November 8th, Julia, November 8th that's the funeral I'm taking. Thank you, thank you. Oh, my TikTok? All right, yeah, I'm gonna look at the settings. As soon as I'm done with this, I'm gonna look at the settings and see why you can't send me pictures. You know what, now that I think about it, I don't think anybody's ever sent me a picture. But that could be why. But I'm gonna look at the settings and see what's going on with that. All right, thank you. So far, everything that we found with this case, right? We know for a fact that there's three people. We know two people helped carry her out to the yard, or I should say behind the abandoned school. We know for a fact a third person was also driving Keon's car. So we know for a fact there's three people, right? Now, we also know for a fact one of them is Keon. Keon's in jail. They're just not giving up the information on the other two people. Now, a lot of people are wondering why. Now, one thing I can tell you, what I think from my experience and from seeing things, usually when law enforcement can't find or can't identify somebody from a video or a picture, usually after a few days, they will post a still frame of that picture or a still frame of that video and put it to the media, to the news outlet. Is usually what they do. And they say, hey, have you seen this person? Hey, do you know who this is? If you have any information, contact Crime Stoppers, contact so-and-so. And that's usually what they do. Now, in this case, they have not done that. And I'm starting to wonder why they haven't done that. And one of the reasons why I think they have not done it is, I'm thinking maybe they already know who the two is that's in that video. And you might ask yourself, if they do know who that two is that's in the video, right? Why aren't they arrested? Why aren't they in jail? It could be a couple of things. So this is if they know who the two are in the video. If they know. If they know who those two are in the video, there's a couple reasons why they are not arrested. So one reason is, if you remember in the court affidavit, back when they were talking about Keon and him getting pulled over. Now, if you remember, Keon got pulled over, I believe it was like on the 6th. That was 2 days after Kada went missing. But they didn't take him to jail, if you remember. But they pulled him over on purpose to see if his phone would ping to the same location that they pulled him over to so they can be like, all right, this is him. All right. I can name a lot of other cases where they know it's you, but they want to make sure it's you. The Brian Kohlberger case where he unalived the 5 students, where he just got, pled guilty. They pulled him over, as well. And if you remember, the news didn't tell us who he was. They didn't say anything, but the law enforcement already knew. They kept it on hush. But they actually pulled him over crossing state lines with a state trooper after his license plate got flagged by a traffic cam. Because what it is if you ever do a crime and you do it with your car, especially your car, they're going to flag your plate. So anytime your plate goes through any of these traffic cams, that's what these traffic cams really are for. They're really for the watches. They can flag your plate every time you go through a cam. It makes it really easy for them. So now all they gotta do is flip up the software, type in your plate number, and there's going to be a list of every intersection your plate passed with still frames of you and images of you, some of them close enough to see you through the windshield driving. And that's how some of these work. So his plate got flagged going through a camera, and they hurry up and, told the officer, hey, Brian is over here on this interstate, pull him over. We want to see if this is him or not. Make sure his phone pings there and things like that. His phone pinged there, and that's what happened. So they pretty much did the same thing with Keon. So I'm thinking if they do know these 2 people, they might not have enough evidence yet. So they're trying to gather all that evidence by doing this so-called, investigation. Let's ping them and make sure before they arrest them, before they, because this is a case, obviously, the district attorneys don't want to, lose. If they lose, it's going to look really bad for them. It really is. Especially think about it, Larry Krasner. Y'all people don't like him already anyway. It's going to really look bad on him if he loses this case. It's in his hands, right? They are possibly cooperating with the cases for lesser charges. So Nappy Chill says they are possibly cooperating with the case for lesser charges. Funny you said that, because that was going to be my next reason. Now, for those of you guys who don't know, a lot of people already know, I did time. I did time and I was locked up. Now, on my case, I had an informant, okay? The informant I had never showed in the paperwork. Now, through the grapevine, I found out who the informant is. You kind of always do through the grapevine. You find out. So I found out who it was through the grapevine, but on my paperwork, the name was never there. Ever. Not once. So they cooperated pretty much. They got away. Not away, but they didn't get charged, nothing like that. And they got paid. Some informants get paid. So they got paid too. Now, like I said, it's funny you bring that up, because yes, that does happen. Now, that also goes back to the tipsters. Whoever's tipping, leaving these calls, hey, you guys go to the middle school and you're going to find this. They go to middle school, what do they find? They find Kada's car with her name on it. They find a phone case, and there was a third item. And then they leave because the cops didn't do a proper search in the back, which if you look at the Google Maps, they should have, because the place is not like it's miles and miles long. I don't see how, why they didn't do that. So then somebody calls them back and says, hey, you didn't go look over here by the third tree. So obviously that person was there. They know everything. And I thought about the media could be giving us this tipster angle, because that's maybe what the law enforcement is giving us, as the tipster angle, because like you said, one of those 2 people, or if not both, could be cooperating. And if they are cooperating, the judge, or I should say law enforcement, a lot of times is not going to come out and say, yeah, such and such turned himself in, but they gave up the information over here. Sometimes they're not going to do that. It depends on what deal's going down and what they're, it's just behind closed doors, all right? They are in witness protection program regards to the reward. Yes, you can be in witness protection program and get reward money, and they'll never know who you are. You got to find out through friends, family. You got to find out through the street pretty much who told on you. That's how you got to find out. They're not going to show you. They're not going to go in court, and they're not going to sit on the stand, and they're not going to point you out. These confidential informants don't do that. So a lot of times you don't even know who they are. And they get paid. Or can get paid, I should say. Oh, I'm sorry. Hey, what's going on? Was it Mimi? Says past 3. Woo, yeah, where are you at? Past 3. Yes, justice for Kada. All right, so usually when the law enforcement are looking for a body, they use the dogs to sniff the whole area. The dogs didn't hit on anything. I'm confused. You know what? You're not the only one that's not. Oh, let's put you up here. All right. She said, usually when the law enforcement are looking for a body, they use the dogs to sniff the whole area. The dogs didn't hit on anything. I am confused. You're confused. Mike's confused. Kata's family's probably confused. Everybody in this chat is probably confused on why when they went there. And if you remember, they went there with a bunch of cadet trainees. But then again, if you go back and look at some of the news footage, when they were looking for Kada Scott, you saw a lot of cops just standing around. I don't know if you remember. I do. You saw a lot of police pretty much standing around. Just standing there. Doing nothing. Talking to each other pretty much. You didn't see a lot of them back there in the trees going through things from a helicopter view. You didn't see that until after she was found. Before she was found, you really didn't see it too much. You kind of saw them by there, but you didn't see a lot of that. So a lot of us are confused with that. Did they not search properly? Did they not go back there? They were like, oh, and just forget it? Did they not think this case was going to be so big as well? Now, if you remember, the FBI came and started helping look for her too. So when the FBI came, was it the FBI that got the tip, or was it the regular sheriffs that got the tip? I always wondered that. They don't tell us that. Who actually went to the Shallow Grave Funnel? Was the FBI or was it the local law enforcement? That could play a role. It could play a role. Switzerland. We got somebody watching from Switzerland. Thank you so much. Hey, what's going on, Nicole? Glad to see you here. You guys make sure you go follow True Crime Nicole on TikTok. She's doing good work over there. She's really doing a lot of good work. Thank you so, Madison. Thank you. Thank you for watching. Thank you for everything. So, Nappy's saying the cooperating party are validated to the broadcast. Hold on. The cooperating party are validated their cell phone contact numbers, photos, text. Yes. So they're going to make sure to get all that ping, their cell phone numbers. They're probably going to see if they got text now numbers too. They got text now. There's WhatsApp. There's talk to text. There's so many different apps out there. So many. I got like a few of them on my phone. So there's so many of them out there. Don't you think she was moved or they didn't look in the first place? So I've thought about the whole, was she moved or was she brought later on? I thought about that. Now, here's one thing I can say. On the court affidavit, it does say, which I forgot the exact date. It was the same night, I believe, right? She went missing, or the next day, or the car was sitting there for 2 days, so it would have been the 5th or 6th. They do say the car was sitting there for about 2 days, and then, two people came, pretty much pulled her out the passenger seat and dragged her away. But the problem is they pulled her towards the middle school, but the camera doesn't see where they dragged her off to. So hear me out. If you look on Google Maps, there's a pathway that walks in between the school and in between the rec center. I always thought, what if they did take that body and didn't bury her at first, but maybe dragged her in the back? Because there's residential, I think there's an apartment back there, there's Pet Boys, there's another school, there's some stuff back there on the other side. So what if they took her back there and put her somewhere else? I thought about that too, which I did. But the only thing that's risky about that is there were so many cops in that area that it would have been hard for somebody to drag a body back through those woods, put them back where they were at. Because you remember they went there first and found Kada's belongings. So it would have been very brave and hard for somebody to go back there in those woods and put her back there. So I have thought about that. See here. Camera died, y'all, but I'm back. Let me switch the camera. Now I'm going to read some of your comments. Thank you, Nicole. Thank you for the super chat. Appreciate that. Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate the super chat. Thank you so much. Yeah, so like I said, there's a few of you that think maybe the body wasn't there yet. And like I said, I thought about that too. But the problem is, like I said, it would be hard. It would have been extremely brave. Like, who would have did that? And not only that, Keon was already in jail. So if Keon's already in jail, that means two other people probably would have had to do that. Not saying one person couldn't have, but it's faster with two people. Think about it. It's faster to dig the hole. It's faster to carry the person. And if police are already there in that area, that's taking a big risk. So I'm not saying it's not possible, but whoever did it, if they did do that, they were brave. You're right. The first location was not behind the school. But if you remember, they were at the school. They were in front of us. That's where her belongings were found. So yeah, Philly is hella corrupt. They keep ruling Ellen Greenberg's death as a suicide, even though it's physically impossible. I haven't dug into the Ellen Greenberg yet, but I keep hearing about it since I've been following the Kada Scott. And since I'm following Kada Scott, I am going to dig into Ellen Greenberg just to see if I can come up with something. They didn't put any effort into finding Kate. No, they didn't. They really didn't. I got a email or a tip from somebody who lives right down the street from the school. Okay, and before she was found,
they told me that before they found her body, that they were there, but she says they didn't do a complete thorough search like they should have. She said, for example, she has a Ring camera on her house, and on her house, there's a Ring camera, and you see it. Usually, when police are investigating, what is the first thing they do? They look to see who has cameras, and they start knocking on doors, and they want to get footage of your camera. She said they never knocked on her door until after she was found. I'm not going to give her name up, but that's what she told me. Yeah, actually, she says the boyfriend, they saying the boyfriend lives close to where they found Kada body. Well, um, True Crime Nicole was actually in this chat. She's the one that discovered, I believe, that the boyfriend lives behind the rec center. Black Link Magazine, thank you. And I haven't forgot. I'm gonna get back to you about when we could do a Saturday, so I can get back on your show. Forgot, for you people that don't know, I did a show, a live actually, with Black Link Magazine talking about this whole case. So you think she was in that school, the abandoned school? I thought about that too. Was she inside the school the whole time? You know, I just wonder, because I know the police were there. They found her belongings, and as far as to my knowledge, somebody said they were still patrolling that area. Now they might not have had all 50, 100 people there like they were the first time, right? But they were still patrolling that area. And I just think if somebody had to come back and do that, that person is not a rookie. That person has got to be a pro. That means whoever went back and think about it, Keon was already in jail. So whoever came back and did this, they've done this before. Usually, when you commit a crime, some things will deter you from commit crime, right? For those of you out there that's committed one, and for those of you out there that's never committed one, please don't ever do it. And a lot of times maybe you haven't because it deterred you. So where I live right now, in a city of Florida that I'm in, there's cops that are driving around even during the daytime and nighttime with both of their lights on, the blue and the red light, and it's on solid, not flashing, but solid. And the reason why they're driving around with these lights on solid is just to deter people from doing certain things. Speeding, road rage, all kind of stuff. Because if you look in your rearview mirror while you're driving, you're gonna see these solid red and blue lights. Like, oh, there's the police. I can't do this. Let me put my seatbelt on. We all do this. We get in the car, right? We drive. We forget a seatbelt. We see a cop. Oh, seatbelt got to go on. It's like a deterrent. It's a reminder. So, whoever did this, if they did do that, they're not scared of deterrence. They don't fear them. Meaning, like I said, they've done this before. What do you think the cops were looking at when they walked into the building and were looking down? You know what? A lot of these are great questions. Great questions. And a lot of this, what I'm finding out right now, is that Philly, I'm sorry, but for you guys that live in Philadelphia, y'all need to clean up y'all police force. Y'all need to clean up y'all police force. Your district attorney got to go. Y'all got to do a lot of cleaning. House cleaning, it sounds like. And I mean, you're not the only ones, right? You're not the only ones. There's other cities too. But after looking at this case, I'm like, man, there's a lot of corruption going on. Tenderoni, best coverage on YouTube for this case. Thank you. I appreciate that. Said those businesses are far from there. I know they're not like too far because they're right in the back when you walk through the middle and you pass all that forest type stuff. You probably can walk there probably what 20 minutes maybe if you're walking from the front of the rec center and let's say you went to Pet Boys. Now that would be far to probably carry somebody of dead weight. That would be hard. But then again, you have two people. But who knows what was back there already waiting? It could have been a wagon. We don't know. Because remember when he came back after that car was parked for 2 days, remember he came back from that same direction. Super chat from Nicole. Keep up the good work. Every day there is something new to discuss, and you are doing great. Thank you. You are too. Time is illmatic. Keep static like wolf fabric. Tenderoni. The reason why I keep this up right here, I'm not even from New York. I'm from California. But this album helped raise me. And anytime to this day, when I'm feeling down or I feel lost or anything, for some reason, if I look up there, it guides me. I don't know. Everybody has some sort of guidance or some sort of thing that they can look back, a music, a song, a movie, an item. This is mine, and that's why it stays up there. So, do you think the boyfriend and Keon worked together to have her lure out? You know what? True Crime Nicole has been covering the boyfriend very deeply. She dug into it. Be right back, y'all. Hold on. Now, like I was saying, Nicole actually dug into this. Now, of course, the boyfriend's not going to claim he knows anything, right? Of course, he's not going to. Who would? But he's got a background. His background, he has charges that are similar to Keon's and Gabby's and D. So it could be very possible. Anytime you're dealing with these type of crimes, everybody's a suspect. Everybody, okay? Not just the main suspect, everybody, especially we know there's more people involved. So police might or media might come on TV and might tell you, "Oh, this person's not suspect." They're lying, or that's what the law enforcement's telling. And media goes off their information, right? So he could be, and we've been trying to dig into this to see what sort of connection he could have if he does have one with Keon. Do they know somebody? Does Keon maybe have a relative that knows him? Does he have a relative that maybe knows Keon? Are they part of the same organized crime family? Are they part of the same gang culture? We've been trying to figure that out. Yeah, he had a lot of people helping him. I think it was even more. It's even though the affidavit showed the 3 people right on the video, I still think there's more people. We still got to. I mean, there's still the 2 ladies that was at the house of that house when it was raided, and they took them in for questioning. They're suspects too. And the house seemed like it was some sort of a trap house, if you ask me. And then somebody was saying on a live, when I was on a live with Nicole, somebody said that whole street's pretty much a trap block almost. right here. They didn't even look at the camera footage until much later. If I remember on an affidavit, or here's the thing about the camera footage, you got to remember this too. Depending on where they get the camera footage from, you have to have a search warrant for some cameras. Now, for example, I don't know if you guys ever bought any, let's say, Louis Vuitton from the Louis Vuitton store, okay? If you go into the Louis Vuitton store, and let's say you steal a Louis Vuitton purse, and the cops want to go in there, or let's say you maybe try to steal a Louis Vuitton purse, anything, whatever, right? If the cops go in there and they say, hey, I need video footage of such and such stealing this Louis Vuitton purse. Louis Vuitton, by their standards and their rules that they follow, is not supposed to give the police their camera footage. The police have to go and get a search warrant to get the Louis Vuitton store's camera footage. Now, this is not for all stores. This is just some. The reason why this is for Louis Vuitton is because you have a lot of high-class people in Louis Vuitton, celebrities, politicians, people with money that are shopping in that store. And a lot of times they want to stay private. So if you're ever in a high-class store, Louis Vuitton, Dior, any of these places, a lot of times they will have a rule that they can't give out that camera footage just to anybody. So police have to go get a search warrant, which means they have to go to a judge. And the judge to sign off on it. Then the police have to come back and go to the store and now contact the general manager or district manager, whoever it is, give them the search warrant, say we need this warrant for this. And then the police, when they're looking at the footage, also cannot show the footage just in case somebody's in that footage that does not want to be seen. Let's say Jennifer Lopez is in that store shopping while you're stealing. Jennifer Lopez don't want to be seen on the camera while you're in there stealing, right? So in some places, they have to get a search warrant for the video. Now, I do know in an affidavit, they were pinging before they were looking at video footage. That could be why. I don't know, but I'm just thinking that it could be why. Pinging is easier to get a search warrant for sometimes than it is video footage. Even for us, let's say they knock on your door because you have a Ring camera. Let's just say you got a Ring camera, right? You don't have to give the police the footage. You don't have to. You can be like, hey, I ain't giving you nothing. The police have to go and get a warrant to get your footage from the Ring camera, unless you're the one that did the crime. Now, if you did the crime, different story. So she said, why do people think the boyfriend is a suspect? What did he do? That's a great question. And I think I'm going to answer that for you on some people of why. All right, so let's just give you an example, okay? How many cases do you know of where, excuse me, a wife ends up missing, then later on they find her passed away or unalived? Husband's free, but then later on, husband gets arrested. Later on, the husband gets charged. A lot of time in these cases, it's usually the closest person to you that does something to you. Or the last person that was seen with you does something to you. Now, he was not the last person seen with her. We all know she went to work, and the last person seen with her technically was Keon. And then before that, the people at her work. Then before that, she went home to change, then the boyfriend. But every time this happens, even if you have a boyfriend right now, your boyfriend can be clean as a whistle. But let something happen to you. Police are going to go look at that boyfriend or your boyfriend, and he's going to be on the list. And he's got to have a great alibi to get away. Because if something happens to you, they're going to look at your boyfriend. And not only are they going to look at your boyfriend, they're going to be asking questions about your boyfriend. They're going to go to your family. If you have your mom, your dad, they're going to ask your mom, your dad, hey, her boyfriend, has he ever showed any aggression, any signs of this? And he hasn't done this. They're going to ask your friends, has her boyfriend ever did this? A lot of times the boyfriend becomes the suspect just automatically, just like the husband does if a wife ends up missing. And I think because of that, it plants a seed in people's head. And not only does it plant a seed in people's head, people also start assuming because when stuff comes up, oh, the boyfriend's got a background. He's not perfect. He's been to prison. You know, that's kind of the way life works. Me, I have a background. I got locked up. I went to prison. And I live in a nice neighborhood. If one of my neighbors' car was stolen, right? Or there was a bunch of cars stolen, whatever it is, and police knocked at my door first, was like, hey, you know any idea about these cars being stolen? I would kind of expect for me to be the first be the first suspect because I have a record. I'm not going to be shocked by it, and I'm not going to be mad by it. It's just how we think and how we do things. We go after what we think first and then go from there. Yeah, Keon's father has tied to the law enforcement. So, you know, everybody, all of us have been trying to figure out Keon's father. And all I can tell you is whatever his father did, it is sealed. It is shut tight. We are not cracking that. I have tried and can't get no info whatsoever on exactly what his father did. It's like his father's a diplomat or a politician or something because you can't get really know nothing on his father. Usually when that happens, there is a connection. Well, they didn't get a lot of info of date of camera info until the weekend she was found. They said that in the press. Yes, you are right. They did not get a lot. That's why they were going off those phone pings, right? And they searched that house. Here's an interesting. The Philadelphia Department of Sanitation trucks are there all the time and maybe threw off the scent. Could that be possible? Um, you know what? That's going to depend on the dog. Usually the way these dogs work is, let's say you're alive still. I know this by personal experience, and it's in my book coming up. Dog had to search me out because I was hiding from the police at one point in my life. And the dog found me. And what they did was they gave the dog, a scent of a piece of my clothing that smelled like me and sent the dog out to go search for me. And that dog found me. Um, Later on, I'll tell you guys a story if you're interested in hearing it. It's kind of funny now. At the time, it wasn't, but now it's kind of funny. But if Kada Scott is not alive, right? And she's buried and she's decomposing, that means her original scent when she's alive is not going to be there. She's going to have a scent of death. I don't know if you guys ever smelled any death before. That's a smell you will never forget. I hope any of you guys never have to smell that. It's a smell that really makes you sick to your stomach and you will never forget. It's a smell that you can't even compare that smell with anything. It's totally different. The smell of a human being dying or that's passed, and I should say the corpse is rotting away. It's really bad. So I don't know if the sanitation truck would have thrown off the smell from the scent of a decomposing body. That's a great question, but I really don't know. I know, for example, drug cartels. When I was locked up with a lot of them. They were transporting drugs through the border of Mexico into Texas, California, Arizona. What they would do is a lot of times they would take the drugs, wrap them up in saran wrap, one layer of saran wrap, right? Then on the top of the layer of saran wrap, they will put Vaseline on it, wrap all over that first layer. Then they would take black pepper, put the black pepper in the Vaseline. Then they would wrap that up. So you have the drugs wrapped up in saran wrap, Vaseline on that saran wrap, black pepper on that saran wrap, and then saran wrap wrapped again. And then on that top of that saran wrap, a light layer of Vaseline, not a lot, and then a little bit of black pepper on it. Not a lot, because the black pepper, the Vaseline was to cover up the scent. That was one. Vaseline covers up scent. The black pepper was to throw the canines off because the black pepper would cause them to sneeze and not want to go near there. Giving y'all too much game right now. Should charge y'all for that one. But, I mean, that's a great question. Only thing I have to say is the smell of death is just so different. It's totally different. So Megan says, yes, I guarantee you, I think there might be more victims who knows I don't think this is the first one. I don't think Kada is I do not think Kada's the first one. I think just the Philadelphia police are just lazy and they got so many cases going on that they might just pick and choose of which ones they want to run deep with and which ones they don't. And it's very sad because there's a lot of Chicago's like that. Chicago's a city that's like that. Los Angeles, is cities like that too. Nicole says the boyfriend does live just blocks away from the school as well as just from short distance from her. Yeah, I knew Nicole was the one who found exactly, online where the boyfriend lived at. Ray, your theory about money being owed is the best theory out there. Thank you. And I don't know if that is the theory. I really don't. I mean, we all don't know, right? But let's say if we had a board of theories and you have to rank them 1, 2, 3, that would be my number one. And my the reason why I'm saying this is because I've never had to unalive any. I've never done any of this stuff that Keon and them's done. Never done that. Even though I did time, none of my crimes are even close to this. Nothing like this. Mine almost like white collar type stuff. But I was locked up with these people 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, in a cell, 7x10 cell. My first cellmate was a convicted unaliver of unaliving a woman who was giving birth to somebody. And I was with him for 4 to 5 months, talking to him every single night, and including others. So you got to learn how these people think. You got to learn how they move, how they react, and how they think. You got to learn all this stuff because you're living with them, right? And the one thing I could tell you in my personal experience of living with these people, anybody who ever did a crime or unalived somebody personally out of, let's say, if you want to say love, or maybe in a passion or the heat of the moment or something like that, it was a more personal type of unaliving, meaning they were strangled to death. A lot of them were strangled. Women get strangled to death more than anything. And a lot of times it's because it's back to the boyfriend. A lot of times it's because it's the boyfriend or the husband. Okay. But that's personal. They get mad. They get this frustration in you. And then you just want to grab somebody. And that's how they thought and what they did. Okay. Then you have, let's say, the people who were hired. And when they were hired to do something, you knew they were hired because of how they did it. They did it a lot of times quick and easy. Bang to the head. Done. Cast them off somewhere. Move on to the next. If it was somebody that owed money, it was the same way. Bang to the head or drive-by. Something like that, right? And now if they would have came out and said she was unalive from strangulation, then I'm like, all right, yeah, Keon was personally probably jealous of her, wanted her, and couldn't have her, and something happened to the car, and he chose to do it this way, right? Because there's other females, think about this. There's other females that he's supposed to be kidnapped, right? But he didn't unalive them. He didn't bang them in the head. But why would he do that to Kada? So if he already had experience of kidnapping people, first of all, if he already has experience kidnapping, why was he kidnapping these other people for? You know, why exactly was he doing these other people for? Was it the same thing? Was it drug related? Was it money related? Usually when somebody's doing this type of pattern, it's some sort of always correlation that involves. So was it all drug related? So when they said how she passed and that she passed away, you know, within a quick time, wasn't like he had her tied up in the basement in a chair, you know, and like that. No, it was like get in the car, they drive off and he bangs and that's it. And then not only that, you got other people helping you. There's not even criminals who are out there doing the most horrible things. A lot of them are not going to help you because you unalive somebody because you were jealous in some love triangle. They're going to look at you side eye like, Jimmy, man, you on your own with that one. I'm sorry, you on your own. We're going to stand over here and continue doing business. But these people helped him. And in a timely manner helped him. Like they were already there. So from how she was unalived and from these other people helping him makes me to believe it was deeper than just some sort of love triangle. And that's where my theory came from. Was some sort of money involved? Or was Kada witnessing something she wasn't supposed to be a witness to? Or, and it doesn't have to even be Kada owed money or owed anything. It could have been somebody in Kada's family. It could have been an uncle, a nephew, anything, anybody. And Kada was, we all know, think about this. Kada was the prime person in her family, meaning Kada looked like she was the one that was going to break the cycle. She looked like the one that was going to take the family out the hood. Think about that. Kada was going to Penn State. Kada had a whole life. I mean, no matter what she was doing, if she was out there smoking weed, whatever it is, she was young. We all going to do that. We all do that stuff, right? But she had a bright future ahead of her. Not saying nobody else does, but from what we see, she's the one that had that. So if a family member did owe something or something like that, you know, a lot of times you hear in the rap songs, I can't get you, I'll get your sister or whatever it is. You hear in the rap songs, right? And that's how it is. That's how think about it. That's how the mafia operated too. The mafia operated the same way. Same exact way. If they couldn't get you, they get somebody close to you. They do the same thing. So it didn't even have to be her. It could have been somebody she was related to or close to. And they were like, all right, well, we're going to take her out the equation because this is your prize winner. Now what? Pretty much just like cutting the head off a snake. Seeing what other comments we got here. I'll be on here about another like 10 minutes. See what we got going on. And like I said, once again, thank you guys for coming in. I know how Philly is. I'm from the area. Still seems made up. We'll never know the truth though. I don't think we're ever going to, only way we're going to know the truth is if they go to trial. If they go to trial, that's when we're going to know the truth. Or if Keon pleads guilty and part of his guilty plea, he has to tell the truth. That's the only two ways we're going to know. If this goes to federal court, we might not never know the truth because federal court can seal it. For example, what if Kada was doing something she wasn't supposed to be doing? I'm not making her guilty. She shouldn't unalive her. I mean, nobody can do this to her, right? I mean, no matter what she did not deserve this. She didn't deserve it. But what if she was doing something she wants to be doing? What if she was buying a pound, you know, to get by in school or whatever? We all done something in our life, all of us. Everybody who's commenting, you did something in your life. You might not just got caught for it, but you did something. But what if she was doing something like that and her family doesn't want the media to put that out there? I mean, hey, it's their daughter, right? They want her daughter to be shown in a certain spotlight. So I can't hate them for that. Does anybody know if that school has a basement? Great question. Nicole says she found something very interesting today. You going to talk about it on your live today or tonight? How does she think people meet people? Tinder, WhatsApp, Christian Mingle. If you see a girl you like as you drive, and you're going to get out the car and approach them. You're right about. I mean, I've never been the type of guy to approach. I mean, I never been the type of guy to just start hitting on women. But you're right. A lot of guys will. You see a guy, or a girl, you're gonna start approaching them. There's girls that do it too. Yes, hit the like. Don't be lazy. Lee Davidson said this is a trafficking incident that went wrong. Interesting. Interesting. And I can't fault you for that theory. I can't. I do need a warm tea. So as far as you, so I have a couple businesses. One of the things I do is I DJ. All right. So I travel a lot and I DJ on clubs, events, all kind of stuff. I don't know if you guys know the singer Maya. I'll actually post like a short something about, but I DJ'd one of Maya's concerts not long ago here in Florida. But anyway, I was out in Miami DJing this party and came back. And when I came back, oh man, that was what, a week ago or something like that, week and a half ago. I was coughing so bad. My voice was so messed up. I'm getting better though. I am getting better. Michelle said the boyfriend's motive. You know what? And we don't know. You're right. What would his motive be? We don't know. If he did do something or was involved, what would the motive be? That's why I'm thinking if he is involved, that's a big if, it's got to be something that we're not being told, to where it's some sort of money or drug related. There was a person on TikTok. I have no idea if she's telling the truth. I tried to look. Nicole, maybe you can find this and look for it if you haven't already. She said that the woman who was found, or the woman who was questioned when they raided that house, Miss Brown, that she is some sort of way related to her boyfriend. And Miss Brown knows Keon. I don't know if it's true or not. I have no idea. I tried looking it up before I got on live, but I couldn't find anything. But I'm still going to keep looking. So boyfriend was sent to her to get close and set her up. Hey. Hold on. Let's pin this. That part right there. The boyfriend was sent to get close to her and then set her up. Remember, they weren't dating that long. It wasn't like they were dating for years. They weren't together that long. Or the boyfriend had beef and they got her to hurt him and never know. I thought about the whole setup thing. Thought about that too. I also thought about if the boyfriend had beef with somebody else that maybe Keon might know. And she didn't know. And that's why Keon probably started hitting up Kada on the 28th. Because something could have happened that she wasn't aware of. Thought about that too. Look at the tech. All right, let's see what we got here. So you sent me all right, I'm looking at Nicole's image she just sent me. All right. Hold on real quick. See if I get this right. Pretty Petty Paid. Interesting. Hold on. So Nicole just sent me something on Brown's story today. Now, I'm not going to put out everything she just sent me, but I'm going to tell you a little something real quick, all right? This goes back to a theory I said in one of my older videos. When Keon burnt the car and had the car towed, I'm going to repeat this to the death of me. Anytime a car gets towed, I don't care where you're at. I don't know about other countries, but I know here in America, anytime a car gets towed, let's say you're parked in a spot, a no towing zone, you don't realize you come out, your car is towed, right? They take it to the lot. And then what they're supposed to do is they're supposed to input the license plate number and the VIN number into a universal system that the police have access to. And the reason why they do this is because if you call the cops and like, oh, my car just got stolen, they pull up your plate number and like, oh, it didn't get stolen. Eric's towing just towed your car. You got to go get it. Oh, my car's stolen and your car is really stolen. And let's say a tow company does find your car somewhere, there'll be an alert. Oh, this is a stolen vehicle, blah, blah, blah. And a lot of times your insurance will get alerted or you'll get alerted. These people burnt the car, but after they burnt the car, they got it towed and smashed within the same day. Have you guys ever had a car towed and smashed within the same day? Probably not. I got in trouble for a car ring. I started one of the biggest car rings at that time in the state of Colorado. And that was why I got in trouble for taking cars from dealerships. But the dealerships were in on this. And we were taking cars to tow yards. 2 separate tow yards we would go to. And they would pay us cash. And the car would get chopped up, whatever you say. That's how that works. So first thing I heard was when the car got towed and smashed and the car was stolen, keyword stolen, which meaning it did not input into any system that we know of. Somebody knew somebody at the tow yard to do all that so quick. So Nicole just sent me a screenshot of a certain individual story saying for $100, my HG will tow your baby daddy car from his girl apartment. Serious inquires only. Be payment ready. Let me read this again. Nicole just sent me this from somebody's story for $100. This is somebody out in Philly. My HG will tow your baby daddy car from his girl apartment. Serious inquires only. In this person's story, they know who Keon is. Nicole? That's for you. Nicole did do an interview with the boyfriend. Go check her channel on TikTok if she still has it up. Yeah, Nicole also sent me more. So I'm going to read more into that. Nicole be finding a lot of stuff. Said, bro, 90% of Philly been to prison. Damn. He said 90% of Philly been to prison. Oh my God. Well, people, I'm glad. Let me read a couple more of these. I'm from Philly. I commend you, Fugitive TV, for sharing and shining light on this tragic situation. And I agree. Philly law enforcement need to tighten up. I pray they arrest all the parties involved. If this goes to trial, I'm going to try my best to come out there and cover it live. If it does go to trial, which means I'm going to be outside the courtroom. I'm going to be interviewing people. Hopefully you guys can show up. I'll let you guys know if it does go to trial, if I can show up or not. And, we'll get this going. I'll be in Philly touching the streets for real. I also think no sanitation truck smell ain't got nothing on decomposing body. Yeah, because a decomposing body, that smell is something you never forget. That smell is totally different. You said, I swear I would be haunting everybody involved. You and me both. They need to go back and review old missing person cases with similar, wow. I'm confused on why no additional charges have been filed. Yeah, I'll break that down for you real quick. They're still trying to find all the evidence. They're still trying to get the co-conspirators, charged with certain charges. Not only that, it could possibly go federal, just depending on what charges, because remember the feds did come down and help search. So if it goes federal, that's a totally different story. I don't get leaving her in the car for 2 days, then going back to that part. I didn't understand either. It's like they didn't know what to do with her. So that part too, unless they were thinking about leaving it in the car, maybe blaming it on the pizza guy. Why wasn't he on a plane to Mexico? I was on the run for 15 years. And you know how much money I had in my pocket when I first went on the run? $50. And I went on the run for 15 years and started with $50. And I made my way up to Canada, Greenland, Iceland. I lived in New York, Carolina. I started $50. I ask these questions all the time with these people that got money. Diddy is one of them. You got all this money. Why are you staying there knowing you about to go to jail? Some people just get full of themselves and they think they get invincible. That's what it is. Pursued Keon for financial assistance hey, I said that. Kada was probably using Keon for some money. How many beautiful women out there do that? I'm not saying it's wrong. I'm not saying it's wrong, and I'm not saying she should have been terminated for that. But how many women do that? She's young. She's in school. She just got her job 2 weeks ago. Remember, she just got her job. I'm just trying to think criminal-minded. Hey, that's what you got me for. I can help you out with that. I feel like she was playing two sides. I said the same thing. Does Kada's have brothers? I don't believe so, but I know she's got a younger sister. I don't know exactly how long they were dating for, but I know it wasn't that long. Let me give you some shine. Hey, fugitive, watching from Cleveland, Ohio. My family is from Cleveland, Ohio. My mom and dad are both from Cleveland, Ohio. Even in Switzerland, it works like this. Woohoo! Switzerland is in the house. Columbus, Georgia's in the house. I'm right below you in Florida. Nicole and Fugitive. Is the collaboration YouTube needed? Thank you, David. And I'm going to end it with that, all right? I want to say a big shout out for all you guys that participated in here. We had quite a few people in here tonight. Thank you for the gifts. Thank you for the super chats. Thank you for everything. My channel was growing extremely large thanks to you guys. And you guys are motivating me to even do more and more and more. I'm using my personal life experience and telling you guys about it and using it to try and help other people is what this channel is about, all right? And if you guys know anything, you can check out my TikTok, Fugitive TV. You can send me stuff on there. Oh, and I will, some reason somebody said, Julia said she couldn't send me a picture of something. I will see if I can see why that's happening. My email is in a lot of my videos. So you go to my email or videos and look at my description. It's it's Marcel at raymarcel.com. Marcel at raymarcel.com, because raymarcel.com is actually my book website. You'll see a commercial for it. This is not out yet. But thank you guys so much. Please take care of each other, all right? Women that are out there walking the streets, if you're walking the streets and you're out there at nighttime, do not have your phone in your hand, looking down at your phone, texting. Be aware of your surroundings, please. If you do have your phone in your hand, make sure you have some sort of quick dial on there to where you can quick dial somebody if something does happen. Have some sort of pepper spray on you, mace on you. I've seen women carry around bee spray, all right? Have something on you, because I don't want to have to be talking about anybody else, on my next episode or anything like that. So take care of yourselves. Please, Fugitive TV, I'm out.